everybody, Chris Brown, 5-Star Home Inspections. Welcome again to our video series. Today, we're talking about gutters. Very, very important component of your home. I cannot stress enough to everybody watching the importance of maintaining good guttering and downspout systems, okay? If you're not aware of how important it is to maintain gutters, you can really cause a lot of damage to your home. Obviously, traditionally, you need to clean your gutters out about twice a year, okay? In the spring's fine, definitely in the fall time of the season. Now, there's a lot of different gutter guards. I want to talk about gutter guards for just a second. I recommend gutter guards that have it has the screening on it, or it could be made out of like a sheet metal, okay? But you want to have the gutter guards that's got big openings on it. If it's the mesh type, you want to go with something that's like a 1/4 inch by 1/4 inch opening. Now, there's tons of information, tons of videos, tons of commercials about gutter guards. One of the things about some of the gutter guard systems that's out there, especially the screen type, if you really look at that screening is wound pretty tight. If you want to kind of see an example, I'll tell you what to do. Take a window screen out of your house. Take your garden hose and point it at that window screen and pull the trigger and see how much water actually goes through that screen. That'll give you a good indication of what's going to happen when this water comes off the roof and hits that gutter guard. All right, now most of it really works with a normal rainfall, but if you get these heavy, the bottom falls out of the sky type rainfalls, that water is going to go right over the top. Essentially, your gutter's about worthless, to be honest with you. That's why I like, if you get a screen type, or if it's the sheet metal type, which are very common, just make sure you got some decent sized holes. It's going to keep the leaves and things like that from going in, but it's going to let a good amount of water in too, and that's what you really want. So, getting back to gutter maintenance itself, cleaning the leaves out, stuff very important. So, like right here on my house, I need to do some because I got a big old pile of leaves right here in mine. So what happens is these leaves get bound up in here. Also, as your roof ages, you're going to have some mineral loss off of your shingles. Okay, so that mineral also goes into the bottom of the gutters. Well, this is a 5-inch gutter. They come in varied sizes. So as that mineral comes off, that mineral is pretty heavy. It hits the bottom of that gutter, and I've seen gutters where the mineral in the bottom of the gutter will be like that, maybe an inch thick in some cases. Well, what that does is that takes up the volume of what that gutter can actually hold, and it makes it overflow quicker. Okay, so cleaning them out. A lot of ways to do it. Some people use blowers, some people use garden hoses. Best thing I can tell you is, if you're really handy and you're not afraid of heights and those kind of things, most people can do them themselves. If you got a 2-story house and it's 40 feet in the air, do yourself a favor. Get a professional, get somebody that's got the equipment to do the job, and just pay them to do it. I promise you the benefits are going to be tremendous. So that kind of goes over the gutters a little bit. Downspouts. Super important on downspouts. As this water comes down through the gutter and hits the ground, you want to make sure that you either have a splash block or a leader pipe on this gutter. The worst thing that you can do as a homeowner, especially if you're on a crawl space or a basement, not so much of a risk on a slab, but if you're on a crawl space or a basement, and you let that water come down and hit right here next to the foundation, you're going to open yourself up to water penetrations. Because water's like air, all right? It's going to follow the path of least resistance. Well, the path of least resistance, when it comes to that, is Mother Earth and the surface of that foundation right there. So it's going to slip right down. It's going to shed down the wall, especially if you're in a basement. And I promise you, it'll run 6-7 feet down into the ground. And then sooner or later, it's going to bottom out and it's going to look for a place to go. A lot of times it's just going to go into your basement. All right. Very important with basements. I can't tell you how many houses that we've inspected where we have found extensive damage to basement walls, and it was all because of bad guttering, bad downspouts, and controlling that water as it runs off the roof. There's such a thing, it's called hydrostatic pressure. Okay? And when you have a concrete wall, block wall, that's in contact with Mother Earth, and you put enough water down that slip layer, sooner or later that water's not going to have a place to go. And one of the problems is here in the Carolinas, we have a lot of clay in the ground. It's very hard, it's very packed. Okay, there's not a lot of rock, it's not porous, so it doesn't drain quickly. It takes a while. So what can happen is if you get enough pressure with that water down against that wall, it starts to push on your basement wall, and it'll actually push it in. And I've seen cracks 25, 30 feet horizontally across the basement wall because of this problem. Okay, I promise you, if you create this condition, Mother Earth will win every time. Every single time it will push your wall in. Okay, so we got that. Gutter drainage as far as around your foundation and when it hits the ground. Splash blocks are okay, not bad. But if you're on a crawl space or a basement, especially a basement, you may want to consider putting an underground drain pipe system in. Now, want to talk about black corrugated pipe. The black corrugated pipe itself is good for this kind of application. I've just got this run on here for right now. I haven't finished things around my yard, but I'm going to be putting in a drainage system for my downspouts. One of the things about the black corrugated pipe is this, and you will find this in the ground more than anything else when it comes to gutter system drainage. Here's the problem with it. The corrugated pipe is okay, but eventually, I promise you, it's going to clog up. And when it does, it's going to be absolutely worthless. All right, I've seen brand new homes, 4 or 5 years old, that had this kind of pipe in the ground. Doesn't work anymore. They've literally had to disconnect this pipe from the ground and just let it run out on the top because it clogs up. All right, look at the end of this pipe. All those ribs and stuff in there. How in the world are you ever going to be able to get an auger or anything to clean that pipe out when it gets plugged up? And when it gets plugged up, this is what you do with it. You throw it away. Okay? So what I always recommend is they make PVC piping, like your general inside PVC piping that you use for your domestic plumbing system is what they call a Schedule 40. They make a Schedule 20 pipe. It's a little lighter. It's not meant for domestic drain system, but it works perfect for gutter drainage. Okay? It's smooth wall on the inside. You can put it in the ground. You can put cleanouts in certain locations around your yard, so if it ever gets plugged up, you can run a snake up it and get it unclogged. Okay? That's what I would recommend. That's what I'm going to be putting in here. I'm going to hook all of my downspouts together and I'm going to drain everything to one location. Okay? So I hope that you learned a lot here about gutters and downspouts, because they are really important. Whew. That's a lot. I hope y'all learned something today. Thanks again for watching our video series. I'm really happy to be doing this stuff. Can't thank you all enough. Go on our website, 5starhomeinspections.us. Call us at 855-500-3744. Take care of your gutters. I promise you, you'll be a lot happier homeowner. Thank you.